Welcome to CCG TV, the Keep Columbus Beautiful Earth Notes. We're so happy that you tuned in. And we are always looking for you all to be tuned into what we're bringing to you, because we really want to promote good environmental stewardship. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, our mission is to engage and educate individuals to be better stewards to our environment by enhancing beautification, eliminating litter and blight, and protecting our environment. And you know, when we know better, we can do better. And we are so excited that you tuned in so that you can gain the knowledge that you need to have so that you can be a good steward to our environment. So if you are not recycling, please call 311 and request your recycling bin today. It's so important for us to try and divert as much material from our landfill so that we can save that space, and then we can recycle those items that can be recycled. So don't forget to call 311 to request your blue bin. And not only that, you can request, or you can call and request for some trees. This is tree planting time. So exciting. You know, on any of the right-of-way, you can request trees, different species of trees. Just call 311 and put in your order. I'm sure that the Urban Forestry and Beautification Division would love to hear from you. And not only that, we do need to have you to work with us with our different programs. We had a wonderful turnout for our shoe recycling campaign, and for our grease and drug collection. We had a great turnout. So I want to encourage you all to continue to support us the way that you have been. And just know that we're always looking for you to help us. Volunteer. And speaking of volunteers, I have the Director of Volunteer, the Interim Director of Volunteer for Animal Control. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Beth, for being with us today. And you have some other young ladies with you, and you can introduce them later. But tell us a little bit about what your job is.
Okay, first of all, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
My job is as a volunteer coordinator,
okay,
is to kind of coordinate things with all the volunteers who want to come and help the animals. Okay. We do off-site events to help get the dogs adopted. We have on-site events, yes, where people come and they visit the dogs and do meet and greets.
Okay.
So a volunteer can get involved with that and help us to help the public to try to be a matchmaker for a dog for their new family.
Oh, wonderful.
And be sure it's the correct match.
And you know, many years ago, we would have helped the hooch with your pooch.
Mm-hmm.
You may not have known anything about it, did you?
No, I've heard.
Oh, okay. And so one of the reasons why we wanted to feature dogs there was because over at Lake Bottom, mm-hmm, dogs are free and they're just roaming around, and then when they go poop, then no one scoop it up, poop. And so that lake there, I mean, really is really contaminated. So we were trying to bring about some awareness about for pet owners, mm-hmm, dog owners, to really take care of their pets and make sure that they scoop the poop.
Right. Well, that's one thing our volunteers can tell you. I do enforce for that. Okay. We do have poop bags, so we like anytime they take out a dog for a walk to exercise them for the day, good, don't forget your bag. And they see the post everywhere. But I do have 2 volunteers here with me, okay, 2 dedicated volunteers.
So why don't you introduce them?
This is Renata. Renata has been volunteering with me for quite some time now, and she even adopted a dog from us, so we're thankful for that. And then we also have Eureka, who is also a volunteer, and okay, I don't know what I'd do without these ladies or many other ladies and gentlemen that I do have volunteer with me. They're a great help.
And you know, my job is so similar to that too, because we really require, and we can't get our work done without volunteers.
That's correct.
We have a volunteer board of 25. And then when we have the Help the Hooch cleanup activities or our grease and drug collection program, shoe recycling, we have to get volunteers to help us. And you know, we can't do without you all.
Exactly.
So we want to express our appreciation to you all for volunteering. We need more people to do what you all are doing. And I know that you need people to do a lot more with the dogs, right?
Right. The dogs are stuck in their runs. When a dog gets picked up to animal control, they have to undergo their stray period time, which okay, can consist of 5 days being on a stray hold. And so the dogs will not become adoptable or property of the city okay, until the 6th day. On that 6th day, our volunteers and myself can start working with the animals and start
Okay.
working with them one-on-one to try to help promote them and to help them find a new home, a new beginning,
Wonderful.
a new family.
And so today we're promoting volunteerism. So you're tuning in, watching CCG TV, the Earth Notes. How can they reach you if our viewing audience want to volunteer?
Okay, they can call 706-653-4512. That is the main number, and then they'll connect you to my number. My hours, I'm normally there on Tuesdays from 12 to 5, Fridays from 10 to 5, they can reach me, and then on Saturdays from 10 to 5 as well.
Great, great. So for all of you dog lovers, we need for you all to volunteer to help with animal control and paws. So make sure that you got that number down.
Right.
And if you're interested, call so that you can volunteer because they need your help.
Right, and maybe one of them like to speak and say
Yes.
what they get from volunteering.
Yeah, what's the value? I know sometimes when you enjoy what you're doing, it's not, it's that fuzzy, warm feeling that you have for volunteering because you're giving back. Yeah, so tell us why it's important for you to volunteer.
I like to volunteer because I like to intermingle with the dogs. Some of them come in, they're very frightened, and they get a little tender loving care from us.
Okay.
And we also assess their
Behavior?
level of behavior, right? If they're real wild, or so we can match up with people that want to adopt.
Okay.
And we take them for walks, and when they've had enough shots, they can actually play in the back. And
Okay.
we try to take pictures, and this is a very good picture taker here.
Oh,
Rita.
wonderful.
She does wonderful. She
Good,
gets
good,
those
good.
gorgeous shots. And it makes you feel good when
It
you
does.
see, we have a website that's Freedom Faces of CACC, and that's where adopters post.
Okay.
And you get to see, oh, this was Clarity. Look, she's in the bed. It really gives you a warm, fuzzy
we can see your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're giving a good idea of the way you feel about what you do. And it's so important for our volunteers to make sure that they really have an appreciation for what they do because they'll stick with you for a while
They
when they
have.
do that.
I don't know what
They'll
I would
stay
do
with
without
you.
them.
Wonderful. Well, we thank you for volunteering. We thank you for coming on our show today talking about volunteering and how you all can get involved. Please just make sure that you call Beth at Animal Control and then let her know what your expertise are, and I'm sure they'll place you. Isn't that right?
We'd love to. We won't turn anyone away. We would find something for you to do
Good.
and put you to work. Or if you even like cats, I'm more of a dog person, but we do
Right.
have cats from time to time, and we do have some volunteers who enjoy working with the cats.
Yes.
So they need help as well.
Yes, and it will be a wonderful way for you to give back to your community. So don't forget to call Animal Control and volunteer. They're looking for you to do that. So stay tuned. I do have a wonderful guest. He's a part of our commission, one of our volunteer commissioners, who was appointed by City Council. And so you don't want to miss Mark because he has some wonderful things to share about himself, some of the things that are going on, and Habitat for Humanities. I'm sure that he'll share a little bit of that, and we'll just chit-chat with you. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is your new kitten, or your new puppy. Every day, 70,000 puppies and kittens just like them are born in the U.S. Cute, right? Well, what's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents. And when a kitten has a litter of oopsies and a puppy has a litter of uh-ohs, pretty soon you have thousands and thousands of OMGs. And that leads to millions of pets being killed in shelters each year. But if 80% of pet owners say they believe in spaying and neutering, then what gives? Well, it turns out those sweet little fuzzballs can get pregnant sooner than you think. A lot sooner. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. You just have to remember one number. 4, as in 4 months. When you bring home Maggie or Ruby or Puddle or Clyde, get them fixed at 4 months. It can be old enough to get pregnant, and it's definitely young enough to make a difference. Prevent more, fix at month 4.
Welcome back to CCG TV, the Keep Columbus Beautiful Earth Notes. And as I mentioned earlier, I have a wonderful guest here with me on the studio today. or in the studio today, and it's Mr. Mark Mccollum. He is a part of the Keep Columbus Beautiful Commission. We're excited to have him to be there, and we also have known each other for a good little while.
Long
Mark.
time. Yes,
Thank
good
you
to
for,
be here.
Thank you for being on our set today.
Glad to be
Wonderful.
here.
Why don't you tell our audience what you do as a profession?
Okay. I'm part of Habitat for Humanity, Columbus
Okay.
Area Habitat for Humanity. And of course, our main goal or objective is to build and create affordable housing
Right.
here in Columbus for deserving families. And part of that component as a fundraiser actually is our Restore,
Right.
which is a kind of a thrift store that we bring in all types of things, sofas, appliances, building materials.
Things that can be reused.
Yes, reused. And so
Right.
we're the ultimate, I guess, recycling type operation.
Well, that's good because that's right up the line of things that we are promoting always. Always. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And so instead of people throwing it away, putting it in the landfill,
Right.
it ends up being another man's treasure, as we like to think of. And it's a very valuable way to recycle things that normally would end up discarded or thrown away.
Wonderful. Well, let me tell you how much we appreciate you for giving your time, your talent, and your resources for Keep Columbus Beautiful. We appreciate that you have decided that you want to work with us.
Yes.
And you've been there doing quite a bit. Some of the programs that you've helped us with, the shoe recycling campaign,
Yes.
that was pretty good. What was your experience, with doing that particular campaign?
Well, this year, this is really the second year that we, as Columbus Area Habitat, have participated. And the first year was more or less a kind of a employee initiative.
Okay.
This year, I actually put a couple boxes out, and the response was overwhelming from our
Good.
customers. They came in, deposited shoes. I ended up with 5 bags, I think,
Great.
of shoes just from roughly a month period of time that
That's
we
awesome.
collected them.
That's
And
good.
the majority of those, as I said, came from our customers, and they were quick to bring them in and deposit them with us, and then
Yeah.
recycle those.
And those shoes are being recycled, and that's good. What we try to do as a commission is to make sure that we engage our commissioners in doing a lot of different things. And I know another one of the projects that you had an opportunity to witness, and that was the magic of recycling.
Yes, yes.
So what did you think about that program?
That's great. It's a wonderful program. Of course, it is geared towards a specific age, the young
That's right.
people. Children,
Grade school.
grade school age, 6th grade, I think.
It goes
fifth
up
and
from
sixth
K
graders.
through 5 or 6.
Okay. And they were all excited about it. Of course, the program, the magician was very talented and
Good.
held their attention, really got them participating. And it's something, hopefully, again, at that age group, you
Yeah.
start to introduce them to recycling. Hopefully, they remember those things
Yeah.
and continue to participate as they get older. So.
Yeah, you're right. Now, you know what? It's also so important for us to kind of thank you all for allowing the community to drop off paint. And it was a wonderful idea. And we did run into a couple of little dead ends there.
Sure.
And so hopefully we may be able to work out a plan where we might be able to reinstate that program, because there's such a need. Because once a year we have our household hazardous waste recycling program, and we have so many people that are coming out with paint products and paints, and so it would be wonderful for us to be able to have a site for them to continue to drop it off throughout the year.
Yes.
So maybe we'll be able to talk and then come back at another time
Sure.
and say, we've worked something out, so you all will be able to go out and then drop off your paint.
Yes.
But right now, you all are not collecting any paint at
That's
Habitat.
correct.
So I think it's
Yes.
important for our viewing audience to know that you were doing that, and now you're not doing it.
That's
Yeah.
correct. At the moment, we were no longer able to collect those things and
Right.
hold them for a long period of time.
Right.
But I think, and as you and I have talked about,
Right.
there is such a need or demand for a year-round
It is.
collection process to take place. Columbus is a big place. There's a lot of volume.
It is.
And I know it's a challenge to have dedicated sites for that, but that's
It
kind of a great ultimate goal, I think, for our program, Keep Columbus Beautiful, as well as obviously for the city.
You're
want it for the
absolutely
city.
right.
And we at Habitat, through Restore, want to be a part of that, because again, we are focused on recycling
Yeah.
and putting things back into use somehow, or helping keep the landfill as free as possible of things that
Absolutely.
unnecessarily in there. We in the office have just recently started a recycle bin that works good. And so
Awesome.
that has worked
is
out
awesome.
good, yes.
That's good. And I'm
So-
glad, and I'm sure a lot of that you all were doing before because you've been reselling home products
That's
for,
right.
since you started.
That's right.
But you didn't, and we weren't selling the paint, but you were collecting them so that we could recycle them.
That's correct,
And so
yes.
that's important for us to continue to try and do too.
It's a good partnership, I think, and
It
it's
is.
one that I think we can further do and encourage other locations,
You're right.
businesses, maybe even within the community, to participate.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you are, if you have some paint, you know that we're in October, the second Saturday this coming October, we'll be collecting paint with our household hazardous waste event again, like we do. And we still are trying to identify some areas or some businesses that we might be able to have the paint dropped off so that you won't have to hold it in your garage or in your home for a long period of time. You can just drop it off and then we can recycle them when we have our once a year event. So just stay tuned to CCG TV, the Keep Columbus Beautiful Earth Notes, and we'll try and keep you enlightened on things, and we'll try to do a better job of making sure that we can help you all be good stewards to our environment. We do have a project that's going to be coming up in April. We're going to have a citywide cleanup, something very similar to our Help to Hooch cleanup, but we really are going to need for individuals out in our community to volunteer and clean up that's outside of your back door. And also you can clean up in some of the parks, but we really do want to try and do our best to make sure that we get some of the trash that we're seeing now on our roadways off of our roadways. And so I know that you all who are tuning in, you're not littering, but there's somebody you know they may be littering. So encourage them not to litter and to be good stewards to our environment, because anything that's on our major roadways, when it rains, it carries, it goes through our sewage system and it finds its way to our main watershed, that's the Chattahoochee River. And so it causes problems for the wildlife and even for us. So make sure that you all are being a good steward and then share the wealth, because we're counting on you. So it will happen on April the 20th, the same day that we're going to have our personal paper shredding. We're going to have a community-wide cleanup. So stay tuned. You'll be hearing more information about that. We're just in the planning stages of it, but we know that we're going to need your help, so stay tuned. And Mark, thank you for being here on the show today.
Sure, Gloria.
We
Thank
certainly
you.
appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate you serving on the Keep Columbus Beautiful board.
Glad to do
It
it.
makes a lot of difference. We couldn't do it without you.
Thank you.
And now, you all just make sure you stay tuned to CCG TV, and we'll see you the next time. So, but until that time, if you're not recycling, please call 311 and request your recycling ban. And if you see any other infractions to our environment, like potholes in our streets, if you see some junk cars or a lot of solid waste, call 311 and report it, because we are the eyes, the ears, the mouth, and the hands for our environment. And we can't live without our environment, so we need to take care of it. So we're looking forward for you all to take on your responsibility to be a good steward to our environment. Thanks again for tuning in.